think we're live. Hello, hello, Facebook.
Let's see.
Claudia is assisting me, so I think I'm live.
There you are.
Yay!
Okay, I'm going to check the volume.
Okay. Can you hear me? I'm waiting for the thumbs up from Claudia. And she'll be checking the comment section as well. So if anybody's out there and they can hear me, let us know. All right, I'm getting the thumbs up from Claudia, so we're good to go. Hello!
It's a little low, so you're going to want to speak out,
Okay.
speak a little.
Okay, I'll speak up.
Yeah.
I can talk loud.
There we go.
All right, perfect. Oh, yay! So Susie's here, Leslie, Danielle, hi! Hi, Heidi! So you guys can hear me okay, yes? I don't need to yell. Hi, Leah! Awesome. Well, this is fun. So I'm so glad...
Susie says, so pretty.
Oh, thank you. I put lipstick on. I don't do that often. I combed my hair and put lipstick on. That's a rare occasion. Hi, Joan.
Oh my God, we have somebody new to the group named Joan Ranquet.
Oh my gosh, welcome, Joan. We're so happy to have you on Learn to Communicate with Animals with Joan. Oh, good deal. Yay.
Okay. All right, so we've got Danielle Van Amsterdam says, hi, Shannon. Everybody hears you. Heidi says hi. Leah Pancheri says hello. Susie says it's perfect. The sound is perfect.
Good
All right.
deal. Good deal. I'll talk loud. All right. Well,
Okay.
I'm Shannon Myers. I'm a certified animal communicator and animal energy healer and a certified human health coach, although that's taken a back seat as of recent. I'm also a QualU, Communication with All Life University graduate from 2010, one of the first graduating classes. Yay! And I'm a teacher now for the school. And I have many names. Officially, it's the Animal Empath Journey Coach, but I love when I get called the Enrollment Goddess or whatever other names people make up for me. So I love to help people on their path because I've been taking classes with Joan since 2004. So I probably know about most of them. And I love to hear how people come to this work. And I know how I came to it. So I like to help others on their path.
So what is it, the animal empath
journey coach,
goddess,
journey
coach.
enrollment goddess, whatever.
I'll be honest with you. Shannon is amazing at what she does, and I have always wanted to watch her do it because it's almost like you could see someone's path by them sharing with you what they're into. Like you just kind of see it.
Yeah. Well, it's like our,
Right.
this work, animal communication and telepathy and intuition and being in a quiet space and holding space, like we learned from Joan, all these things to help us with animals. It helps us with the humans. It helps me in my health coaching business. It helps me when I'm working with people on their path because I can listen and hear and visualize or receive what they're visualizing for themselves. So it's really fun to be able to say, well, based on that, here's where I would start, And it's fun.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Susie says, you are my hero. You got me here, and I will be so grateful forever.
Oh.
And so will we, Susie, to get that Shannon got you in the program.
Yeah, we're grateful to have you. Susie's an amazing retired RN who devoted her career later in life to being an animal massage therapist and went to the Chi Institute and then came to Communication with All Life. So she's got some good additional skills for what she does to help the animals.
And Shannon, let me ask you this. So you're the Animal Empath Journey Coach. Wow, I got it right.
Yeah.
You are an animal communicator and energy healer. You are a health coach on the back burner. You also teach in the school. How do you do all that?
Oh, and I have a farm. I've got
You run a farm. How many acres?
I've got 14 acres. I have 4 horses here. 3 of them are the ones that I found who came to me back in 2004, and they're still with me. And that's actually what got me into animal communication and how I found Joan. I have now just 1 dog and now just 3 cats. So I don't know how many animals that makes. I usually like to have somewhere between 8 and 10, but I think I'm at 7 right now, so there's room. But it's it's interesting. Structure is my friend, and so I've been able to kind of look at my schedule and say, here's when I'll do this, here's when I'll do that. Working for myself, I'm able to block time off in the morning. As you know, Claudia, the how you start your day is so important in this work, and how we get ready before I even open the bedroom door with my meditation and scalar and different stretches and breathing exercises and things I do before I go out into the farm. My chores, picking up horse manure and raking out stalls, is sort of very meditative for me, so I get to continue it there, and then I get to structure my day. So it sounds like a lot, but it gives me a lot of freedom to give myself the structure that I need to be able to work with my clients to the best of my ability and to help with the school. So it can be done.
Something that Joan shares about her life too, that's like key.
Yeah.
So
that's where I learned it from,
and
how
you
important it is.
How you met Joan. Can we go back to that?
Oh yeah. So rewind to 2003, I got my farm. End of 2003. 2004, I quickly acquired not 1, not 2, but 3 horses, because the first one was lonely. The second one, when I rode her, was lonely, and then I got a 3rd one. And then I was like, wow, what if 2 people ride? And my then boyfriend was like, I think you're good with 3. Who knows how many I would have ended up with that theory. But yeah, one of them's, right back here behind me, there's a picture of Prize, and she and Danny, I was having issues with 2 of my horses. One was more of a behavioral and the other one was more of a health issue. The 3rd horse at the time, Sky, was in great condition, thank goodness. He was very young, and these 2 were pretty young too. We're all getting older, but as the universe should have it, long story short, I didn't know about animal communication, to be honest. Was very open to telepathy and readings for myself and things like that. So when I went to a big equestrian event in Jacksonville with a friend of mine, it was the last day, and I was really trying to get to this booth of this animal communicator and somebody who knew about nutrition, and it turns out it was Joan. So she was literally packing up, and I'm spewing out my story about how I need help. And again, long story short, as luck should have it, she happened to be able to be in my area, came to my farm, and as she started to talk to Prize over here, my other horses were loose in this big pasture, and they got in line, and she was just quietly writing on a clipboard, and I was like, well, I don't know what's happening right now, but apparently they all want to partake. So the information that I received was beyond helpful, because I was considering rehoming Prize based on a behavioral issue. So she was able to get to a physical thing that was happening with her rib, which is what was causing the behavior. Not that she didn't want to ride dressage or work with me, or she was kind of my first horse since I was a child, since my parents said, well, you can't have horses on your own until you grow up and get your own. And so I got 3. So it was kind of like my childhood dream playing out. I know a lot of us have childhood dreams about things, and I was lucky enough to ride when I was little, but never to have my own horse. So she was like, yeah, I was like 7 years old all over again. So I'm really glad I got to keep her. She just turned 29 years old. So did Danny. Danny had an issue with his stomach and an ulcer and hair growth, and we were able to, through animal communication, nutrition, to help with that, and of course the healing modalities. And I said, wow, you have such a gift. And she said, and I'll never forget this, because I use this all the time when I'm talking to students, this is not a gift, this is a skill. And I was like, oh, so like I could do it? And she said, yes, telepathy is transference of pictures, words, and feelings. It's a muscle, and with practice, you increased your skill level. And yeah, of course. And I was like, well, how do I start? So I started taking classes, driving down to her house in South Florida, and then kind of got catapulted into this work even further with my dog Smooch. He was my soul dog. I don't know if you guys can see him, but he got very ill very quickly, and I lost him in 48 hours. And so I'm not sure how this would have gone down if I hadn't been able to communicate with him while he was at the specialist, if I hadn't been able to convey that to the vet when she called me before I got home to tell me he listened to me and he crossed over when I left, and then to have Joan working on him with scalar healing while he was crossing when I couldn't be there physically. So I'm not going to get emotional, but it was so important to me that really just like, I was like, okay, this is such important work, and I don't know where I would be without it, or where my animals would have been. So when Joan started the school in 2008, I was there helping her, and then I was graduated in 2010. And at that time, I lost all 3 of my largest ad agency accounts that I'd had for 13 years. So I got the Universal 2x4. I don't recommend that way, but the universe knew what I wanted to do. I had written it down 2 years earlier that I'd wanted to help animals and people get healthy. I didn't know what that meant or what that would look like when I started the school, so it was really interesting that I had no intentions of doing it as a career when I very first started. I just had 10 animals at the time and thought, this is so necessary for me to be a better human for them. And then it's just really lovely how it all unfolded. I did become a certified health coach in 2011 to run that alongside this business, because I think part of my family probably thought I was insane leaving an ad agency to talk to animals. So since everybody knew I was into health and nutrition, I accidentally became a health coach because I was trying to become an animal nutritionist. So it's funny how things lead you where you're going to go, and then the pandemic kicked everything back in to me realizing the importance of this work and being connected to the school and to the tribe. And so I came back and was finally able to become a teacher, go through the teacher training program, become a teacher with the school. So it's all full circle, and it feels like it's been 5 minutes, even though it took however many years that was. So.
Okay. No, well, when you came on during the pandemic, Joan had been talking about her friend Shannon for a while, and I got to meet you, and that story you told is one of my favorites. It always makes me cry, and I never even got to meet Smooch, so I'm not going to go there because I'll get emotional too.
Well, you will in Animals in Transition class.
You what?
I said you will get to meet him in the Animals in Transition class.
Exactly, right? So you came back to this, and what about it made you? I mean, you and I are in. We have our own practice. We work for the school. Like,
we're students for life.
You what?
I said we're students for life.
We're students for life, exactly. We're always some of the first people to sign up for classes. There's quite a few of us. So you have your private practice as an animal communicator and energy healer.
Yeah.
And you have the stuff that you do for the school. Is it possible to do to do it all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my animal communication business and animal energy healing business is actually what keeps me going in the world. I mean, it's the thing that I do that I feel like I would do for free if I was able to, because it's just doesn't feel like work. It feels like a soul calling. And I mean, it's so amazing, the different species I get to work with, horses, dogs, and cats, obviously, donkeys, birds, cows, a snake. I got to chat with a camel once. I mean, it's really, really amazing. And then one of my most favorite recent animal communication energy healing stories was with wildlife. It was a sandhill crane that was injured. When I called the Wildlife Foundation here, they said, if it can fly, we can't come get it. Please make sure it has, food and water and shade. So I sat down one day and started doing the scalar energy healing technique that Joan teaches, and it was probably one of the most magical moments I've had in a long time. To see the wildlife respond to that energy in a way that it was almost unbelievable. Even though I believe it and I've been using it for over 10 years, 12 years, but it was just so special because it wasn't a domesticated animal. He didn't have to hang around, and as I was moving the energy, I could see his feathers moving. I mean, it was unbelievable. Everything that's happened in the past couple years has reignited my passion to help other people become animal communicators and energy healers, because this work is just beyond important. I mean, I have a million favorite stories. I love helping people with animals who've crossed over. I'm very blessed to work with animals when they're thriving, when they're declining, when they've crossed, and helping people afterwards, get some closure. And I've been lucky enough to work with a dog that actually just won Best of Opposite at Westminster. And we do EFT tapping with her and her human. And Best of Opposite means the best of breed won, and she won the best of the opposite sex. So it's pretty big deal. There's just so many. I don't know. I have so many favorite stories. I don't want to waste all our time going into them. But this is the most life-changing. I mean, I guess it's a career. It's a calling for me, and I love helping other people find this path. Thank goodness for the school in Joan.
Exactly. Susie Reed says it's life-changing. It absolutely changes everything for the better.
I agree.
Maureen Bissonette says, I have a feeling I'm a student for life too.
Yay.
Yeah, once you're in, you're in. So you mentioned animals in transition. You and I have we're very excited about something coming up.
Yeah.
Really excited.
Yeah.
As students, not just teachers, as students. And that's the Animal in Transitions course. And I know that you and Joan have really sat down and gone over it. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I'd love to. I mean, I was very fortunate to have Joan, when she still lived in Florida, teach some classes at my house. And then when the school went, we didn't have Zoom, so we had teleseminars that we used to do classes back in the day when we carried our, lunch to school uphill both ways barefoot. But yeah, so I had several animals that are no longer here that were teachers. I don't know if you can see these, but Riley and Jenna and Bella Kitty are all over Rainbow Bridge, but they were all teachers when they were here live back in 2008 through 2010. And so they're going to get to come back and be teachers. So Animals in Transition is starting September 28th, and we are going to help people connect and learn how to connect with animals who've crossed over. And it, like I said before, it's probably one of my favorite animal communication sessions are that. It's very important to me. I think it's very important to a lot of people to know that they can connect. Thank you, Cassandra. I agree. And, the opportunity to be able to have other people have this skill at this really important time, or connect with an animal communicator who can help them. I just don't know anything that's more special to my heart right now. So, that's coming up September 28th. That'll be the first class. It's a live 10-week class. And the prerequisite, if you've taken Animal Communication Level 1, if you've ever attended an intensive, if you've ever attended a live weekend workshop with Joan with animal communication, even at a bookstore where you've practiced animal communication, you're absolutely able to join. And it is a special price for this first class, and then we'll be repeating it. It'll be, I believe, twice a year starting in 2023. And it's going to become its own certification. So anyone who's graduated the Animal Mastery Program or Animal Communication Single Certification programs through our school, they'll be able to add this on. And if you're brand new and you just know this is your path, we have a whole certification path for that too. It's really exciting. So we'll keep you posted on all the details coming up. And you can always reach out to me. I'm sure Claudia will be putting my email in there if you don't have it already.
Yes, I will. I'll put it in right now. I do want to say that when I first came, I've said this before and I'll say it again, when I first came to the October Intensive, was the first thing I ever did. I was dreading the 3 days of death, dying, and beyond. Dreading, because grief has been a big part of my life, and I didn't want to deal with it. And it turned out to be my favorite, one of my favorites, because there's so many favorites, but one of my favorite parts of the program.
Yeah.
Of the intensive.
Wholeheartedly agree.
So,
you feel the fear of oh gosh, it's going to bring up so much sadness, but when you're memorializing these animals in this way, it's so incredibly special. And my most recent loss of Bella Kitty, having all the tools and skills I've had for the past 10 to 12 years, I was actually able to be her midwife, death doula, whatever you want to call it. And she was here at home, and I was the one doing scalar energy healing on her when I felt her leave her physical body. And it was heartbreaking, of course, but such an honor. So yeah, this new certification course holds a lot of passion for me, for sure.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It is a skill, but it's a skill that we learn, but I also think of it as a gift that we're given to be able to do this. Not like a gift, like an ability, but
Right.
It's a gift from the universe.
Absolutely.
To anyone who learns this.
Yeah.
I get humbled by it all the time.
That's a good word. I do too. Yeah. It's humbling.
Yeah. It is very humbling. Now, when you graduated in 2010, right, the school had just started.
Yeah, we were the first graduating class.
But then you came back and did the energy healing part, right?
Well, I had done energy healing.
I get it.
Yeah, so when
You've done energy healing.
back in the day, we did scalar, and one of my electives back then was EFT for humans, because Joan didn't have her EFT for animal certification portion of the university. So that's why you should be a forever student, because Joan's always creating classes. So when I found out, I really didn't have an interest in doing it on humans, and I knew it would translate, but I didn't have all the tools that I needed to perfect that skill. So when I found out about that, and I also found out that the intensive was for the first time ever in April 2020, when the world shut down, was all online, and I thought, how is that even possible? Because I had only been in person, when I went to school, and it was unbelievably magical, and reminded me how much this community and this tribe, that I need all of you in my life all the time, especially when the world closed down, but just in general, like I can still be here and still be connected. And of course there's nothing like going in person, but for anybody who attends virtually over Zoom, I just want you to know that it is still an absolutely spectacular experience, that you'll walk away with all the skills and tools and emotions and experience that you would want from something like that. So that's why I came back, and then so I went through that so that I could get the EFT certification portion.
And I second that about the virtual versus in person, for sure. Not versus, and in person. So what other magical things do you do? Because you have so much free time with animal communication, energy healing, private practice, teaching for the school, helping with enrollment, all of these fun things. You spoke about structure, just because I want people to understand when they reach out to you, when to expect a response. Like you said, you're very structured. What do you have, like specific days you work for the school, right? And that's
Yep.
when you respond.
I do. So for sure, Monday through Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'm on the East Coast, but I go ahead and work Pacific Coast times, because that's where most of the interaction is. So there's a couple nights in there where I'll book appointments at 7:30 my time, so that I can quit at 8, which would be 5, over there. So I have a calendar link that I can, when we're done, I can go in and put in here if anybody wants to book a call with me, and it will translate. Doesn't matter. I do Zoom calls with people all over the world, New Zealand. I just talked to somebody in Romania and Australia and Scotland and Ireland and England and Canada. Love our Canadians. We have quite a few of those in the school right now. So, I can chat with anybody, and the calendar link will translate it for you. So you just pick a time that's convenient for you, that's open on my calendar, and we kind of go from there. But Thursdays are devoted to my health coaching clients. I'm not really accepting any new ones, but I have some of my ones that have been with me for years that are, that I still work with on Thursdays specifically. And then Fridays, I sometimes have open for the school, or I may be booked up with readings. I book readings Tuesday and Wednesday as well, and Monday. And of course, if you're a past client and you have an emergency, you make room for those. But yeah, so I make sure that my hours are spelled out on the bottom of my email. Calendly, Joan recommended it, and it has been a lifesaver so that I can have different links for different things. So I don't have to try to keep track of all of it. So it helps me. My calendar is my friend.
So if you reach out to Shannon, just know she always gets back to people. It just depends what day, how her calendar is.
Right.
And you mentioned something, and now the thread just kind of went away. About speaking to people all over the world. You, like we talked about previously, you have this knack for just listening to people and seeing what can you give us a story of. I know you have some amazing stories of people that just called you because they were curious and then they ended up signing up for the whole program because you helped them realize what they wanted, Susie. And I said I wouldn't name names with Susie. So what I just think it's people that don't know what they want to do, but they want to join this program. Give us an example.
Well, there's lots of categories. What I'm hearing a lot lately is probably what happened to me back in 2008 when I call it my soul was screaming, but quietly. And you just start having this sense that you're here for something more. You've loved animals since you were a kid. You have a passion to help and you don't know how. Some people didn't know that this university existed, and they're just blown away when they find out that there's a whole school, and they want all the things. They hear about the animal mastery, and it's like I have to do all of these things. So it's packaged so nicely into an 18-month to 2-year program that people may start by calling me saying, I work a corporate job, and what does the school look like? Because the school is set up so that you can have, like me, multiple things going on, a corporate job, kids, or maybe a job and you're taking care of your parents, or both, or everybody's very busy in the world right now. So the school is set up. I like to listen and hear what their goals are, where they're headed, and sometimes they want to toe dip in the water and start with an intro to animal communication live class, and those are amazing. Or maybe they want to start off with AC level 1, the 12-week live Zoom class. Or some people, when we're talking about that, go, well, what is this? What are these certification programs? So we chat about them because we have more than just one now, more than two. We have a lot of them coming. And so I listen and I hear what their passion is. Like I know your passion, Claudia, you ended up coming back into going to outreach because of helping with the rescues. So if I hear that, then I know we have a path for these people. How can they help the rescues? Or maybe they're really love to help farm animals, and so or maybe they're really into wildlife, or they're a naturalist. Just hearing what are their soul calling, even though their job might be whatever, IT or real estate or whatever they're in, and then opening their eyes to the potential and the opportunities that the school has, and then you can just feel their heart take over. Something resonates, and they're just, they know, they found Joan, and I love hearing all the different ways people find Joan, and I find that she always finds people, and they find her at the point of their life where they're ready to make this decision. A lot of people say, I need to do something more purposeful. I need to do something different, and I need to help animals. And I'm so excited that I found Joan on YouTube, Facebook, her book, however they find her, a class on Daily Om. There's all these ways that the universe is giving them these little gifts and signs to come and reach out to us. So I love being the person that gets to listen to their story and just hold their hand through the process, as they're choosing their path.
That's it. I was one of those. I wish. Well, I went in and you hadn't come back yet. So, but you would have signed me up immediately if I talked to you because it's just very powerful. You would have seen my path before I saw it.
Yeah.
Cassandra says I have been like a boat without a rudder during the school break period.
I know. We all kind of feel that way. It's a little weird when the classes are on break for August. It's like, wait, I need my schedule.
It is. It is. So, does anybody have any questions for Shannon? Now that we have you actually live in front of camera and you're not this abstract person just talking about, does anyone have any questions for Shannon?
I want to say hi to Sue Carr. I want to say hi. She says it's her first time here, so welcome. And hi, Lori.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Lori Jodar. And then Robin
Cook says howdy.
She took classes with me way back in the day, so I'm glad she's here.
Oh, wow. Lori Jodar says hi, Shannon.
Hi.
Let me see who else is on here. Let's give them a minute. Okay, and so there's stuff that's in the works. It's not just like the animal and transition class. There's stuff in the works that I know is coming, but we can't really talk about. But the school is growing, and it's pretty powerful. Geraldine Adkins says, can we communicate with Shannon by email instead of a phone call?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I find with the phone call is that when you have multiple questions, it's just easier for me because I don't work every day during the week to schedule a time to get on a Zoom or Facebook Messenger or a phone call and answer all your questions. That way we can have a dialogue instead of me typing back and forth. I just feel like there's not as much in there. And I think, Geraldine, we've emailed a couple times, so if you want to continue to do that, that's fine. But I love being able to hear someone or see someone, and then, as their questions come up, I just think it's easier to communicate that way.
Yeah. And Lynn Bridge says, hi, Shannon. I agree with Cassandra. LOL. I am looking forward to starting up again.
Hi,
no,
Lynn.
I get that.
Lynn's in Canada. Yep.
I think we all feel that way.
Yep.
Sue Carr says, thank you for the welcome.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so then the new, there's bigger and bigger things coming, right?
Yep. Different certification paths.
We're working on them.
Yeah, and there's stuff to re-engage anyone who's graduated like me. I mean, I came back a lot of years later, so you're never too late to add on skills and tools and classes and courses and different certifications. We have, obviously, Claudia, the advanced animal ambassadorship program that you're helping with is an amazing way to come back. The animals in transition. We're going to be doing nature and wildlife. So yeah, definitely keep your eyes open and make sure you're part of Joan's email list so you can hear about all of them. And obviously we'll talk about them on these lives as well.
Joan just commented, you think you're lost without a schedule? I walk around wondering what I'm supposed to do.
I know, I don't even know what day it is without my calendar. It just feels like, okay, rinse and repeat, here we go. And I'm like, wait, what day is it? That's why I was really glad to, I put this on the calendar, Claudia, so I wouldn't be flailing about somewhere, not on the Facebook Live.
Me too. I'm so used to teaching every Friday now for the outreach class that Friday comes along, I'm going to realize it's Friday because I'm like, wait, there's no class.
There's no class. It must not be Friday.
We all feel that way.
I know.
Cassandra says she's super excited for the animals in transition path, though hoped to not personally have any more transitions for as long as possible.
Totally concur,
Absolutely.
Cassandra. Yes, so blessed that I got to know and love and work with you with Samara and all your beautiful animals. And I think Joan said she says it's not spiritual, but telling our animals you all have to stay forever. So that's what I told Titan. I'm like, no, Titan, you're going to have to just live with me till we're both really, really old and gray.
So does anybody else have any more questions? Shannon, about your practice?
I mean,
Where do they reach out to you first if someone wants to reach out to you for a session?
Oh, well, obviously, you've got my info but my personal Facebook page and website is For Your Animal's Health, and I'll type it in here when we're done. And I used to have a really fancy website, but the server went down. Long story. Anyway, it's a landing page. It's good, and I do have a Facebook page. I'm not as active on social media as I probably should be because I like real life, but social media is important. So you can always reach out to me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, For Your Animal's Health, and I love animal nutrition. That's something I actually was trying to do when I became an accidental health coach, but I love nutrition for all beings. I think that's such a key important piece of the pie when we're looking at, like for me with my dogs or horses, I have a trainer, I have a holistic vet, I have an allopathic vet, I have, my nutrition that I've learned over the years. Love using the Dynamite products. I have animal communication, I have energy healing. I just feel like it takes a village for all of us, and each part of that pie is so important in the animal's longevity and their quality of life while they're here, and the longer we can keep them, the more fun we can create with them.
Exactly.
So,
the more joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyone else have any questions, comments, observations? Joan?
Oh, also Claudia, you and I don't talk about this a lot, but a great path in the school is lost animals. There's such a need for that.
Yes.
I mean, it's, for me, it's some of the harder work, but it's also the most rewarding. I don't specialize in that. I tend to get a lot of people whose animals have been diagnosed, need medical intuitive scans, need energy healing, and then who've crossed over, like that portion. But I have been very blessed to have helped some of my clients with their lost animals, and have been really, I guess, just lucky in the fact that the information that was provided helped and they found them. But we do have some graduates of the school that specialize in that, and we need more. So if that's your passion,
yeah.
If rescues are your passion, if animals in transition are your passion, if wildlife is your passion, if you want to talk to trees. I mean, we've had a couple graduates who talk to nonverbal children, right? These
yeah.
tools and these skills are for all. That's why it's called Communication with All Life University. So I just think that, there's so many paths, and we have November 11th and 12th, the Lost Animal class is coming up too, for people who really want to dive into that. We practice a lot of remote viewing, and that's part of the April intensive if you're in advanced. So
yeah, the lost animals. I don't specialize in it either. You and I kind of specialize in the same stuff, but the people who do specialize in it are pretty amazing. And like you said, we need more.
Yeah.
We need more. I mean, when the 4th of July rolls around, it just...
And New Year's, right?
Yeah. So, Joan says, how do I sign up? Sounds amazing. Okay, smart ass. Leah Cherry says, I love that. Robin Cook says, you are amazing. She is very amazing.
Thank you, Robin.
Shannon is pretty awesome.
Joan,
right.
you can book a call with me, Joan, if you want to sign up. So.
Danielle Van Amsterdam says, I love the energy of this group and the lives. Can't wait to start in October. Love your energy, Shannon.
Oh, thank you, Danielle, and I love connecting with you too. I think we have another call coming up, so I get to see you in Zoom, and we can't wait for you to bring your awesome energy to the October Animal Communication Level 1 class. So we still have some spaces open. It's booking up quicker this year earlier, which is really exciting. And we do try to keep the classes to a smaller size so that each student gets individualized attention. They get to get their information verified, which is so important in this work, and learning how to become accurate and being able to ask the teachers questions. So we do still have some spots left in the 11 a.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Pacific, but I love that it's filling up already, and I'm happy to help people answer questions on that coming up. We have the October intensive. Joan, she's silly. So yeah, the October intensive is the 7th through the 15th, and you can still come in I don't know if the in-person is, I think online it says the in-person is filled, but you would definitely want to check with her team at assist@joanranquet.com, but I can help you at info@joanranquet.com if you have questions about it. So.
All right, Danielle Van Amsterdam says, yes, correct, I'll see you next week.
Yay.
All right, everybody, so thank you all. Thank you, Shannon, for being in the spotlight.
Oh, thank you, Claudia, for being here with me.
That's pretty brave. Of course.
Well, it's nice when you have a friend, a fellow teacher tribe member who's here supporting you on these Facebook Lives, and all of the wonderful people that are here. Thank you, everybody, for listening and joining in, and all your wonderful comments. And I'm really thrilled and very honored that I get to be a part of this school. So.
And I would just like to remind everybody that the classes that Shannon mentioned, the October intensive starts on October 15th. Sorry, October 7th, October 15th, October 7th. And then the live 12-week Animal Communication Level 1 class starts on October 26th. And then we have energy healing starting November. I'm putting them all in the chat for everybody. It's a 10-week course, and it starts on November 10th. So, you know, if you have any interest, once again, reach out to Shannon at info@joanranquet.com, and Shannon, put here in the chat your website, and we'll come back and answer all of your questions on the chat. And then we have, let's not forget, thank you, Joan, for reminding me, we have the Dr. Jill Todd's OM class, which starts, hold on, I gotta pull it up. I lost my thread here. September, oh dear. September, I can't find it, Shannon. It starts September 9th, I apologize. And then we also have the Marie Christine Subtle Energies class, which that I'm going to put both those links for the Animals in Transition and Marie Christine Subtle Energies class in the chat as well. So there's a lot of options, and if you don't even know what to sign up for or where to start, who do they reach out to, Shannon?
For what?
For live classes?
Oh, for this or whatever other names everyone comes up for me. But yeah, you can just email me at info@joanranquet.com. And when we hang up, because my computer is like freezing every time I try to comment back or add something in the comment section, I'm going to put in there where you can just book a call. And yes, of course you can email me if that works out best for you. I know people's schedules are crazy, but if you can't find a call time that works for you, I just did this with somebody who's a dog trainer, and she's on the go all over the place. So we just chatted by email, and I found a time that would work for both of us, sort of like that day. So that can happen, but it's much preferred if you email me or book a call on the book a call link, and then you can pick a time that works for you, and then we can either Zoom, which I love because then I can see you, or if you're shy and you don't want to be on camera, as long as you're in the States. So
exactly. So all right, everybody, thank you so much. I will put the links to the other two classes up in a minute. Joan says she's one of the elves today.
Wonderful. And Leah, I noticed Leah said, as a new member, it's great getting to know you all in these lives. Well, thank you for being here, Leah. We're really happy to have you in the tribe, and everybody new and everybody who's a current student. Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you so
I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. All right, you need to end it on your end.
Okay, bye everyone.